Okay, I'm patching into you from the side of a mountain somewhere in the Picos de Europa. This is one of those days where, I don't know, it feels like it's all coming to fruition. It's just breathtakingly beautiful around here. There's no one around for miles. I'm just camped here on the side of a hill, looking out over, like everywhere I look, it's just gorgeous. Up here at the Picos de Europa, it's like just 1 kilometre of rock, just right there, like a cliff face. It's unbelievably gorgeous. So yeah, I'm having a pretty good time. I'm going to start a new series that will go hand in hand with the Iberian Trail series, whereby I kind of sit down and just kind of give you a bit of a debrief on how things are going, how the car is going, what the trip is like. Just some basic info from the week previously that I, maybe I'm kind of too frenetic to give you in my normal videos. This will be a very kind of one-on-one experience. I'm just going to talk into the camera and hopefully kind of, give you a bit of an idea of how it is out here, how things are performing, how I'm feeling on the road, how the trip's going, whereabouts I am and all that kind of thing. So yeah, let me know if you like this kind of one-on-one thing. I'm going to talk for kind of 10 minutes or whatever, just give you a bit of an update. If you like the idea and you're getting value from this, drop me a comment down below and let me know. Likewise, if you're not a fan and you're like, yeah, just stick to the normal videos, Reese, also let me know that down in the comments. I'm settling into life on the road. It's fantastic, honestly. The highs are high and the lows are low. Like, any overlanding trip. Because I'm alone, I feel like I'm feeling it more than I would ordinarily with other people, like when you're in convoy, there's camaraderie, there's, an element of insulation from like the sheer brutality of being out here on your own. And like every day something crazy is happening on the trail ordinarily. And so when you're alone, it feels like a lot, It feels like a really intense experience. I think you experience it possibly more when you're alone, but likewise being alone definitely has its downfalls as well, like just from the perspective of like loneliness, it is a factor, and I'm talking to people, local 4x4 people, occasionally, as you know by now. But yeah, just the day-to-day doing everything alone, it's a lot of being with your own thoughts, and sometimes it can be overbearing and overwhelming, but I'm enjoying it, despite that. And I'm trying to remember that I'm out here of my own volition, and this is one of those experiences that I'm going to remember forever. And I think that I'm getting a lot out of it for being alone as well. Not necessarily more, but certainly I'm getting a lot out of it. Yeah, it's just beautiful around here. Breathtakingly gorgeous. I keep having to like stop myself and think like, wow, like this is life that I'm living right now, It's so cool. So yeah, that's my mental space right now. I don't even know how far I am into the trip as a percentage, but it's kind of funny. I think I've done about 500 kilometers off-road now. I look back on Google Maps to see how far it was that I am from Bilbao, where I started, and Google Maps says I'm 150 kilometers drive. As the crow flies, even less. I think it's about 120 or something like that as the crow flies. And that was quite sobering to me, because it was like, wow, okay, I am really taking the roundabout route, going around the mountainside, as it were. I'm coming to terms with the fact that this is going to be a really long trip. Like, I knew it was going to be a long trip, ultimately. The trip has so far been fantastic, and I want to talk a little bit about how the car's performed. I've had some problems, put it that way. You saw the problems I had off-road with getting buried in that mud pit and then trying to get out of the campsite the next day as well. Yeah, that was a nightmare, honestly, and it really did put into perspective how poorly this build performs on mud. I always knew it didn't perform well on mud, but that was just something else. And then having the winch blow up as well. So yeah, there's been a few things that have given me real pause for thought, and on those occasions I was able to get out thanks to other people that came for me, that came to help me out. But it did make me think, like, in the event that I'm out here alone, there's no signal, whatever, and I get myself into a situation like that, gave me sort of pause for thought. I was like, wow, that is actually pretty up against it, you know. So yeah, it's given me a few things to think about as regards the build. I really need some mud tyres. I think, you know, I've always ran all-terrains, and I think it's time to change to muds, honestly. The all-terrains have been fantastic for so many things. I've run them for 10 years, more or less. I ran them all the way down the Pan American Highway, no problems. I loved them, actually. They performed amazingly, really quiet on road, and lots of nice grip off-road. But when I think about it, I didn't really deal with any mud off-road on the Pan American Highway. Can you believe that? During 50,000 kilometers, didn't deal with any mud. Come here to northern Spain, and it's just like mud fields as far as the eye can see, which is crazy. And so, yeah, it's time, I think, to upgrade. The other thing is that mud terrains have stronger sidewalls, and all the problems that I had in Wales was due to, you know, me ripping holes in sidewalls and such like, which I think that I might have gotten away with if I had have had mud terrains. So yeah, that's something to think about, and I think that I'm going to have to upgrade those pretty soon. I would like to get a tyre sponsor before I do that upgrade. That's why I'm putting it off, and the other reason is costs. I just honestly can't afford a set of tyres right now because I've blown all of my money on the build itself. So I'll have to muddle on with these ATs for now, and that's fine-ish. As regards other technical aspects of the build, the Red Arc electronic system that I installed before I went away has been impeccable, honestly. It's been incredible and has truly made this possible. The last time that I did a trip in Northern Europe in the winter, I didn't have a feed from my alternator to my leisure batteries because the Cruiser's 24 volt, and I'd had many problems with trying cheaper things in the past to get that 24 volts and convert it into 12 volts for my leisure system. And I ended up frying a bunch of batteries of different things, and so just used to keep the two systems completely separate. So having the Manager 30 from Red Arc has allowed me to run a line from the alternator to the leisure batteries. I've also changed up for lithium as well, and it's been transformative. Like, I just don't even have to think about power anymore, which is incredible to me, considering like the last time that I was doing this, I was thinking about power every day. Like, how can I get the power that I need to power everything that I need to power, you know? Like, I'm running fridge, laptop, lights, night heater, all of my camera batteries that need to be charged every single day, phones, you know, the list goes on and on and on. My power demands are really high. You know, all it takes now is for me to turn the vehicle on. I know that Red Arc have got everything taken care of through the TVMS Rogue system and the Manager 30. And it's just, yeah, drive, and I create power. And it's managed so impeccably through the system. Yeah, I just turn up and I know that I've got enough power. No matter what the weather's like, even I've got 3 solar panels on there, which are also Red Arc. The Manager 30 prioritizes green power first. So if there's brilliant bright sun, it's going to charge the system with the sun from the solar panels first, and then it will top up as it needs from the alternator, so it's not taken away from the vehicle's power system when it doesn't need to. It's an amazing system, and it's made this trip honestly possible. Without it, I would really honestly be struggling. Like the last time that I did this, I was having to stop every 2 days, 2 to 3 days, at a campsite so that I could power from the mains power. My leisure battery system was just ridiculous. So yeah, that's been transformative. The winch has almost gotten me out of 2 situations. The first time it didn't get me out of any of the situation because there was nothing to winch off, and I haven't got a ground anchor. So that's another thing that I have to add to my kit, is a ground anchor. When I came here, I didn't think I was going to need one. You know, I had in my head that I'd be getting myself stuck maybe in the forest or whatever, and you know, I'd be able to winch off trees and such like, and that would be fine. As it stands, that's not been the case, and I got stuck up on the high side of a mountain where there was no trees or anything to winch off, and it was effectively useless until Ruben, my new biker friend, came along and was able to help me with was making a ground anchor out of my spare tyre, a bunch of rocks, and him literally standing on top of the the pile of rocks and spare tyre, which was just insane. And it did pull me out of that. Now, fast forward to the next day when I got stuck in the mud pit in the forest, I thought, okay, great, there's a ton of trees out of here, I'll be able to winch out of here. And it did allow me to winch out of here. But the problem then was it got stuck and I couldn't operate the free spool to let the vehicle's weight off of the winch. And so I was just stuck there with the vehicle, all the vehicle's weight on the winch. It turned out to be a problem with the way that I fitted the winch, for one thing, and also there was a problem with my, what do you call that, the handle on the winch, the mande, I don't even know what we call it, the control handle. And so, yeah, the contacts in the winch itself had gotten slightly bent during the recovery, and so this, the handle was not allowing me to let the weight off the winch. So it worked, but I then couldn't get myself out because of a problem with the winch that had been inflicted the previous day during a tense recovery. Whether that was just a freak accident or part of a deeper build quality issue on the winch, I don't know. Only time will tell on that one. But yeah, it's been 2 kind of disappointing recoveries from the winch so far. I'm hoping that now that I've got that fixed, the next time that I have to use that winch, it's going to be all good. But only time will tell on that. I mean, I'm not begging to get stuck anytime soon, but given my track record so far, I've no doubt that it's only a short time around the corner. As regards other parts of the build, things have been really good. Everything else is running as it should, more or less. I've still got that leak from the water tank, which, by the way, I think is from my filler point on the water tank itself. So I think that it's not cracked. I think that it's a sealing problem. And when I pressurize the system, it's spurting out of there. So I will need to drop the tank, unfortunately, to fix it, but I think it'll be an easy enough fix. So I keep losing kind of a third of my water capacity, which is a bugger, but once it gets down below a certain level, you know, it's fine because, you know, the water can't get up that high. So, yeah, that's that side of things. The vehicle is small, the camper setup is small inside, and I haven't been able to find my groove still with it, and I'm putting that down to having to stay in Airbnbs. I've been in 2 Airbnbs now for a few days at a time to work. I'm kind of freelance working as I go, and that knocks me off out of the groove, and I have to unpack the car and then repack it. I think that if I were in the car permanently, like all the time, I would get into that groove and it would be fine. I do think I'm carrying too much stuff still. I need to thin out my gear. Yeah, but I need to really live, I think, for another week or so on the road to figure out what I can lose and what I want to keep. At the very least, I think I can put a bunch of my clothes up on the roof in the wet bag that I've got up there, or dry bag, whatever you want to call it, and that will free up some space inside. But yeah, just like having things knocking about the cabin is like annoying, and then things like get jumbled up in the day, and yeah, it's a whole nightmare. But yeah, aside from that, things are running great. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'll wrap this video up. Just a brief update of how things are going, where I'm at. If you want to know anything more about the build and how specific things are performing, comment below and I will answer you in the comments down there. But yeah, that's kind of everything that comes to mind as regards the vehicle at the moment. As regards where I'm at, I'm perched on the side of a mountain near to the town of Potes in the Picos de Europa. We're going to go through Asturias and into Galicia, but as regards the way that I'm going to do that, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, all in all, having a fantastic time every day out here. It feels like a privilege, honestly. I feel so grateful to be out here, and it's a feeling that is not fading. With having been so preoccupied with other things for years now, you know, my job, I've been doing up properties, working on the vehicle, you know, my time has just been sunk into so many different things. It's all been work, you know, and I've been working so hard for so long that now that I've got the time to be out here and that I'm seeing these vistas, these incredible things with my eyes again, I just have this profound sense of like well-being. To me, that's just fantastic. So that's where I'll wrap things up for this week. And thanks for following. That's the other thing that I want to say. You know, I'm trying to build this account to be something that allows me to continue to do this. And so your help with following me, with liking my content and engaging really, really does help me to realize that dream. You know, if I could get to a point where this is even paying for itself, you know, I'll be able to continue to do it. I'll be able to continue to bring you more content in the 4-wheel drive and Overland in space. So thank you for your support, as ever. I really appreciate you being here on this journey with me. Bye for now.